I'm Callie, and I teach natural, everyday English. This is a collection of videos from my Spoken English Diary series. If you listen to this video consistently, your listening skills will improve and you'll get used to the way natural English sounds in real life. It can also help you build vocabulary, improve your speaking, and feel more comfortable with essential English expressions. I recommend treating it like a podcast and letting it play in the background while commuting or before you go to bed. You can also shadow and repeat the parts you want to practice. If you keep coming back to this video, English will start to feel more natural, more familiar, and easier to understand. I hope this helps you a lot. Let's get started. Today is Sunday, so I'm going to reflect on my week. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling a bit homesick this week. That rarely happens, but I think it's because of the changing of the seasons. I love fall time back in Michigan. So as the weather is getting cooler here in Seoul, I'm thinking about home a lot. I love Halloween. I love going to pumpkin patches and seeing the leaves changing colors. I love watching football games. There are many things that I love about fall back at home. One thing I did that reminded me of home this week was drinking a pumpkin spice latte. Pumpkin spice lattes are super popular in the US this time of year. It doesn't seem to be a very common drink here in Seoul, and it's only seasonal in the US. So it's a bit hard to get, but Plant Cafe in Itaewon offers one. So I went there and it was so delicious. It's such a cozy drink. It literally tastes like fall. It's pumpkin, but there's a ton of spices in it as well, like cinnamon or nutmeg. So for me, it's kind of like a comfort drink. Even though I was missing home a little bit more than usual this week, luckily I had a lot of things to keep me busy and keep my mind off of missing home. We filmed 4 videos this week. I've been really busy with work, but I'm feeling very energized and passionate about my work lately because I love the creativity of it, and I filmed with some of my friends. It was also lots of fun. The one downside of working so much is that I've kind of been neglecting my health and my house. So I've been eating a lot of junk food. I've gotten a lot of takeout and have been eating out at restaurants. So I haven't been cooking healthy food at home too much, unfortunately, and my house was very messy. I know right now it looks okay, but it's because I just did a reset today. So one of my goals this week is to work a bit more on work-life balance. Even though I'll still be working hard, I want to try my best to take care of my health as well. I do have to give myself a little bit of credit though. Even though I've been very inconsistent with my workouts this week, I did go for a lot of walks. I love this kind of weather since it's getting a little bit chilly outside. So I've spent a lot of time going for walks in my neighborhood. Walking is one of my favorite exercises because it's such a calming activity. I put on my headphones and I listen to music and just enjoy the moment. These days, my playlist is mostly Mumford & Sons. I actually went to their concert here in Seoul a few years ago, and I'm such a big fan of their music. And it's perfect music this time of year. I really recommend checking them out if you don't already know them. My high this week was going to my best friend's birthday. 4 of us went out for dim sum. It was so delicious. We ate at Din Tai Fung and ordered way too much food. I think our eyes were bigger than our stomachs. After that, we grabbed a few drinks, sang happy birthday, had a bit of cake, and just spent some quality time together. So that was really nice. My low this week was definitely my lack of routines. Because I was busy with work, I really didn't stick to my routines this week. So my sleep schedule was a bit off. I stayed up late at night and then I slept in the mornings, and I hate doing that. I'm most productive in the morning. So when I sleep in, it tends to stress me out. So this upcoming week, I really want to focus on my routines. I want to go to bed early, wake up early, eat healthy, home-cooked food, and be more consistent with my workouts. That means doing yoga and going to the gym 2 or 3 times this week. I'm going to be real here and say I'm already off to a bad start because I'm filming this late at night. So I'm already failing one of my goals, but I'll make up for it tomorrow. I hope you all have a wonderful week and accomplish all of the goals that you set for yourself. Comment below what goals you have this week. If this video was helpful, please make sure to like it, subscribe to our channel. Good night, everybody. Sweet dreams. This week was another busy but very productive and good week. I did lots of teaching, lots of filming, lots of editing, and I even made breakfast on live stream, which was lots of fun. I filmed a video with one of my friends and we ate good food and talked about a really interesting topic. I actually learned a lot while interviewing her, but I don't want to give any spoilers yet. I don't want to ruin the surprise for you guys. Last week, I said that my goal was to exercise more, and to be honest, I haven't really kept up with that. But I did do yoga a few times and continued to go on my walks. And I did incorporate a little bit of strength training into my morning workout routine. I'm not really a big gym rat, and I think doing workouts at home can be more comfortable and convenient. So even though I wasn't perfect this week, it was still a little bit of an improvement. Actually, for yoga, I've been doing a yoga challenge. It's a 90-day yoga challenge by Leslie Fightmaster. I found her videos on YouTube and they are very helpful and they help me hold myself accountable. I don't do it every day, but I follow the schedule. I am now on day 60 of 90, so that feels like a big accomplishment for me. Something else that I'm very proud of myself for this week is I feel like I've successfully broken my TV addiction. I really got into watching reality TV shows. I feel like this habit started during COVID because during COVID, I spent a lot more time at home. So I started watching a lot more TV, more than I ever had in the past. And it just developed into a really bad habit. I found myself watching TV a lot throughout the day while doing everyday activities. If I was washing the dishes, I also watched a show. While I was folding laundry, I also watched a show. And reality TV isn't the greatest thing to watch because although it's enjoyable, I don't feel like I'm learning anything from it or it's adding any value to my life. In order to change that habit, I told myself if I want to watch TV, I should watch a Korean drama instead. I feel like by watching K-dramas, at least I'm practicing my Korean a bit. I'm listening to Korean and it's a bit more productive and it adds value to my life. At least that's how I justify it. Very proud of myself for that. I made some progress on breaking that habit. The K-drama I've been watching lately is Hotel de Luna. I know it's a very old drama, but I heard that it was very popular and I'm really enjoying it. I love the main character. She is very strong and sassy. I love lead female characters that have a little bit of an attitude. Maybe it's because I can relate to them. If you have any other K-drama recommendations, please let me know in the comments because I'll be watching a lot more K-dramas from here on out. When I have free time and I'm not watching a K-drama, I've been reading books, which is pretty normal for me. I love to read books. I am a bit of a bookworm. I always have been. Even as a child, I loved reading. I just finished this book. It's called The Blind Assassin by Margaret Atwood. Margaret Atwood is a very famous author, and she's most popular for The Handmaid's Tale. They even made a show about that book now. This is the second book I've read by this author, and I really like her stories, but they always take me such a long time to read. That's because her stories are always very complicated. There are always multiple storylines within one book. So it's like reading a story within a story within another story. So they can be a bit confusing, but always towards the end of her books, I get hooked and I cannot put them down. Even though this took me a long time to finish, I did really enjoy it in the end. I also attended some really fun events this week. I was invited to a skincare event by Skin Chunsa. It was so nice because I got to see their flagship store in Myeongdong for the first time ever. We had great food, we had champagne, and we even learned how to make cocktails. They had a professional bartender come in and he taught us how to make 3 cocktails. It was a lot of fun. And now I'm thinking about changing my career path. It was really great meeting other creators and influencers. I made a lot of new friends and just made great memories with them. Finally, I had another birthday party this week. So many of my friends' birthdays are in October. So this week it was my friend Lorena from Spain. You must be very familiar with her now. It was Lorena's birthday. So to celebrate her birthday, Some friends and I went to Pocheon to go glamping. I have been to this glamping site so many times now. It's my absolute favorite. The tent actually floats on water and you can fish right off of the deck of your tent. It's just so beautiful and peaceful and serene. So we drove to Pocheon and we barbecued, we ate cake, played games, did face masks, watched a movie, and just had so much fun together. So overall, it was a really great week, and even though I was busy, I was very productive and really enjoyed myself. This upcoming week should be a little bit more chill. I think I don't have as many commitments this upcoming week. So I think it will be a good chance to focus on some of my personal goals, like continuing to try and exercise more regularly, getting on a better sleep schedule, practicing my Korean, these kinds of things. I'm very excited for the week ahead and hope that you all have a wonderful week as well. These days, I'm putting a lot of effort into making useful content for you to practice your speaking and improve your English skills, so make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye! This past week was especially hectic because it was my last week in Korea. I thought I was prepared, but then it came up so quickly and I had so much to do before coming to the US. So I was very busy. My schedule was jam-packed. On top of working, I also had to pack up everything in our house and get organized for moving day. My husband and I have a storage unit in Seoul, so when we come to the US, we pack everything in boxes and take them to the storage unit. I thought I didn't have many things in our apartment, but when I was packing, I realized how much we accumulated in such a short span of time. So packing it all up was a little bit stressful. I also had many errands to run, such as buying souvenirs for my family, going to the post office, and making plans for when we're in the US. So I had so much going on. And our actual moving day was a disaster. Things couldn't have gone worse. We were already a bit behind with our packing and the weather was awful. It was pouring rain and we were chaotically running around our apartment trying to finish everything very last minute. On top of that, we had a train to catch at 6 p.m. because we had to go to Changwon for my brother-in-law's wedding. So it was a bit of a time crunch. When we were unpacking our boxes and trying to put them into storage at the storage unit, we accidentally knocked over a plant. So my husband had to shovel up the dirt and clean up in the pouring rain. I had also ordered a new suitcase because my husband and I didn't have enough suitcases for our trip to the US. And I realized when I was packing that it was defective. Something was wrong with the zipper and I paid a pretty penny for it. So I didn't want to keep it if it was broken. So on this already busy, chaotic day, my husband needed to go to a department store to try and buy a new suitcase. Unfortunately, with the rain and all of the traffic, we ran out of time and couldn't buy a new suitcase. So in the end, we just used the defective one. With all of that going on, we were extremely stressed out because it was getting closer and closer to our departure time. And we did end up missing our train. It was a big disappointment, but on the bright side, there were available tickets for a bus to Changwon not too much later. So we snagged those tickets and took a 4-hour bus ride to Changwon. We arrived around midnight and spent some time with my in-laws before heading to bed because we had a very early morning the next day. The next day, we had to wake up bright and early because it was my brother-in-law's wedding. It was such an exciting day and made me reminisce on my own wedding. We saw so many of our relatives and friends, and all in all, it was just a very beautiful day. My brother-in-law looked very handsome, and the bride, of course, was stunning. I couldn't be happier for them. I was also very excited to wear my hanbok again. The hanbok that I wore is very special to me because it was a wedding gift from my mother-in-law. So I enjoyed getting to wear it again. We celebrated my brother-in-law's wedding and ate good food with the family. So it was a great day, but another very long night for us because after the wedding, we took a bus all the way from Changwon to Incheon Airport. It was about 6 hours and we arrived very late at night. We got some sleep and went to the airport bright and early the next day to catch our flight to the US. It's a 13-hour flight, so it is very long, but I can't complain too much. There was not too much turbulence, and I just read my book, and I watched 2 movies during the flight. I watched Twister, and I watched a scary movie called Long Legs. It's about a serial killer, so it's a bit spooky, but I enjoyed both movies. Now I am in the US at my dad's house, and I've already had a great time catching up with my family. I'm filming so much here and have so much I want to share with you about my time in the US. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and check out the pinned comment below. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. I'm finally back in Korea, so I wanted to give you a little life update. It feels a bit bittersweet being back because I had so much fun traveling in the US. I went to New York for Christmas, I went to Vegas, and I spent so much quality time with my family in my home state of Michigan. So it was a great trip and I made so many memories there. But I always miss certain things from Korea when I'm in the US. So it also feels really great to be back. I missed a lot of Korean food. I really missed the fast delivery here and how convenient everything is in Korea. And actually, one of the things that I always miss the most when I visit the US is how walkable Korea is. I love the wide sidewalks in Seoul and how I can easily go for long walks here. In the US, that always seems impossible. So it's been really nice getting to enjoy all of the things that I've missed. As you probably saw from a lot of my videos that we filmed in the US, I did not eat very healthy there. I ate a lot of fast food and a lot of junk food. So I'm finally trying to get back on track with my diet. I'm trying to practice more healthy habits. In order to jumpstart these healthy habits, I started a challenge called 75 Hard. It's a super viral health challenge in the US these days. This challenge lasts for 75 days and you're not allowed to have any cheat days. So it's really tough. During 75 Hard, you have to follow a diet, work out twice a day, drink a ton of water, and read nonfiction books. And you cannot drink alcohol. I'm filming a vlog about my experience doing 75 Hard, so make sure to check that one out. What I've been struggling with the most during the 75 Hard challenge has been my diet. I set super strict rules for my diet. For 75 days, I cannot eat any takeout food or delivery food, and I can't eat out at restaurants. So every meal must be cooked at home. I'm also not eating gluten or sugar. So my diet is quite restricted these days. I enjoy cooking, but having to cook every single meal has been pretty exhausting. I really miss coupon eats, especially on days where I'm a little bit busier. Tonight, I made beef stew. I also make a lot of salads, like chicken salad. I eat eggs almost every morning for breakfast. And now that the weather is getting hotter, I'll start making my favorite smoothie bowls for breakfast soon. That's a staple for me in the summer. I've also had a lot of fun catching up with friends and family since I've been back in Korea. I finally could go to a book club meeting. I missed so many meetings when I was in the US, and it made me really sad. I had a little bit of FOMO. So I was really happy to come back and attend a meeting. We went to the Han River for a picnic and we discussed our book of the month, which was Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. To be completely honest, this wasn't my favorite book. I learned some new things while reading it, but it wasn't my cup of tea. I usually prefer novels or fiction books over nonfiction books. But we had a really great discussion about the book and I enjoyed it still. One book I've read recently that I do really recommend, surprisingly, is a nonfiction book. It's called Quiet by Susan Cain. And it's about the power of introverts. I could really relate to this book because I'm actually an introvert. Many people assume that I'm an extrovert, but my MBTI is INFP. So when I was reading this book, I really felt connected to it, and I found it very interesting because a lot of people view being introverted as a weakness, but she says the opposite, that it's a strength. So I really recommend this book for anybody, but especially if you're an introvert. Recently, one of my subscribers recommended the K-drama When Life Gives You Tangerines, and I just started watching it. I think I'm on episode 6 or 7 now, so I still have a long ways to go, but I'm loving it so far. It is such a heartwarming K-drama, but it's a real tearjerker. I think I need to watch it with a box of tissues. When I watch this show, I think what I feel the most is respect for the older generation. I became a really big fan of IU as an actress. I first saw her in Hotel del Luna, and then I watched 나의 아저씨, and now this new drama. So I'm a huge fan of IU. I think she's an incredible actress. My goal this week is just to stay strong with my 75 hard challenge. I've been really struggling with it lately, and I cannot wait for it to be finished. I've been craving bread like crazy. I just want a sandwich or any kind of carb, like a big bowl of noodles. I think when the challenge is finished, my first meal will be a big bowl of sujebi. I love sujebi and it just sounds amazing right now. But until then, I need to stay strong, keep eating healthy, keep going for my walks, drinking my water, and sticking to my health routine. Now that I'm back in Korea, if you guys have any suggestions or any type of vlog that you want to see while I'm here, please let me know in the comments below, and also make sure to check out the pinned comment. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Goodbye! The past couple of weeks have been a little bit rough because I've been dealing with some eye issues. First, I got a sty in my right eye, and then I woke up one morning and my left eye was in so much pain. I could barely open it. I went to the doctor and they told me I had pink eye. They gave me lots of medications, eye drops, and ointments. It's been helping, but it's a slow healing process. My eyes are still very irritated and bloodshot. Since pink eye is very contagious, I had to cancel all of my plans, which was kind of a bummer. So I've been a big homebody lately. I binge watched a Netflix series called The Residence. I really enjoyed this one. It's a murder mystery, and the main character, a detective, is very quirky and super smart. I thought the story was really fun and interesting, and it definitely keeps you guessing. If you liked Sherlock, you'll probably love this one too. Because I've been stuck at home by myself all week, I've been feeling a little bit lonely. So I talked to my family on the phone a lot this week. I even got to FaceTime with my baby nephew. He's so cute, and listening to him giggle and squeal really cheered me up. I can't wait to meet him in person one day. Since I've been feeling kind of down, I decided to treat myself to some fancy smoothies from a place called Troubles. Their smoothies are kind of like the ones from Erewhon, which is a super fancy and expensive grocery store in LA. The last time I was in LA, I actually went to Erewhon and tried their viral Hailey Bieber smoothie. It was delicious, but it cost around $20, which is outrageous. The ones from Troubles here in Seoul cost around $7 each, so they're much more affordable. I got the iceberg smoothie and the strawberry smoothie. Both were really good, but the iceberg smoothie was my favorite. I highly recommend it and think it's the perfect summer treat. This week, I didn't do anything too intense for exercise, but I've been walking a lot on my walking pad. I always try to get around 10,000 steps a day, and my walking pad really helps me hit that goal. I usually walk while working on my laptop. It's an easy way to get some steps in and stay active throughout the day. I've been resting a lot and just taking it easy so that I can get better and start filming more videos soon. I always have so much fun filming, and I've been brainstorming new content ideas like crazy. So I hope you're looking forward to some new and exciting videos coming your way. Stay tuned and have a great week. Goodbye. It's been a very busy couple of weeks because, drumroll, we are moving to Busan. I'm very excited because we'll be closer to family there because my in-laws live in Changwon. Also, I grew up in a beach town and I love the water. Being by the water always makes me feel so happy and calm, and I love swimming, so I can't wait to live next to a beach. We've been decluttering our house and trying to get rid of a lot of things that we don't use anymore. We've been selling stuff on Dangun and trying to live a more minimalist lifestyle. Because we move and travel so much, it's really stressful having so much stuff. So we're trying to get rid of as much as possible and only keep the essentials. Before leaving Seoul, I also squeezed in one last trip to my hair salon. I've been going to the same hair salon for quite a while now, so I'm going to miss it a lot. We didn't do too much to my hair, but we touched up the roots, trimmed the ends a little bit, and put in some toner. It's a bit darker than it was before, but in the sun, it brightens up a lot. It always feels nice getting a fresh haircut. I've also been trying to meet up with some friends to say goodbye before moving. A few nights ago, I met up with a group of friends and had dinner at a place called Gokyo. It was my first time ever trying the Korean-style rotisserie chicken and scorched rice. I really recommend this restaurant because not only was the food delicious, but I also really liked the atmosphere there. I think it's normally an open-air restaurant, but when we were there, it was too hot outside, so they closed everything off and had the AC on. Speaking of the heat, it's been so brutal in Seoul these days. This heat wave is no joke. I've been staying inside a lot and blasting my AC. So be safe, everybody. Keep cool and stay hydrated. Since I've been spending a lot more time inside, I've been on a bit of a movie kick. I recently went to the movies on a double date with our friends to see F1. It was really good, and I love going to the movie theater. It was a feel-good movie. It was definitely inspirational, and Brad Pitt did an amazing job, of course. One of my favorite movies that I've watched recently is called Companion. It's a dark thriller about AI, and there are so many twists and turns. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I was screaming at the TV. It's really good, and I highly recommend it. If you've ever seen the series Black Mirror, it kind of has a similar vibe to that. That's my favorite genre because it's quite deep and it makes me think about a lot of different things. While I've been cleaning and packing, I've also been listening to a lot of music. One song that I have on repeat these days is Golden from the movie K-pop Demon Hunters. It's so catchy. I liked that movie, but I especially love the soundtrack. I've also been listening to a lot of Justin Bieber because he just dropped a new album. I've been listening to the song Go Baby nonstop, and it always gets stuck in my head. Life has been a little bit chaotic these days because of the move, so I haven't done a great job at sticking to my routines, but I still try to do yoga in the mornings. I've been practicing Ashtanga yoga and it makes me feel amazing. I've definitely seen some improvements in my strength and flexibility. I've mentioned her before, but I always follow Leslie Fightmaster's yoga videos on YouTube. Once we move to Busan, I can't wait to switch it up and go for runs on the beach. I want to enjoy the view while getting my workout in. Anyway, that's my little life update for now. I'm excited to go to Busan, but I'm also feeling a little nostalgic saying goodbye to Seoul. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I'm about to go to bed, but I wanted to give you guys a little life update. I feel like I've really settled in and adjusted to life in Busan. I really like the vibe here, and there's always so many things to do here on weekends. For example, last weekend, they shut down Gwanali Bridge, and lots of people were walking on the bridge and eating brunch, which was a really cool experience. Also, I've been staying pretty busy because I recently started taking Korean classes again. To be honest, my Korean is a bit rusty, so it's been really nice getting back into a classroom and practicing my Korean again. I take these classes twice a week, and they are actually provided by the government. I'm kind of a nerd and I love anything academic, so it's been a lot of fun for me hitting the books again and getting to meet new friends here in Busan. The class is 4 hours long, so I always get hungry and it's not always easy, but the teacher is so sweet, so even though it's a very long class, it's very enjoyable. I also recently went back to Seoul because I had a lot of events and meetings that I had to participate in. Even though I lived in Seoul for a long time, it kind of felt like vacation. We rode the KTX there and we stayed in a hotel in Hongdae. So I really felt like a tourist. I was so shocked going out and about in Hongdae because the lines at Oliveyoung, in Daiso, and even the pharmacy were insane. All of the lines were out the door. It wasn't a super long trip, but of course I had to catch up with some friends while I was there. I met up with a friend for shopping in Hongdae, and we also enjoyed a really delicious meal at a Chinese restaurant there. The food was really delicious, especially the jjajangmyeon. I really recommend this restaurant, so I'll make sure to share that info with you here. I also met up with another friend for more shopping in Seongsu, and man, it was packed there. I'm not usually a big shopper, but I had a few things that I needed, so I went on a shopping spree. Everything in Seongsu feels so trendy and hip, and there were crowds of so many young people there. It was a lot of fun, and I bought a purse that I'm obsessed with. I was quite busy during this trip to Seoul, but of course, I had to make time to eat at some good matjeeps while I was there. I have two places that I really want to recommend. The first one is Travel Makers. It's an American breakfast spot, and you can get a huge breakfast with eggs, bacon, sausage, and pancakes for a pretty affordable price. The atmosphere of the restaurant also really reminded me of home, And the best part is you get free refills for your coffee. The other place I want to recommend is more of a dessert spot. It's called Acai Monkey. They sell acai bowls with all kinds of delicious toppings like fresh fruit and granola. And the owner there was so sweet, and she actually lived in Australia, which is where she learned about this dessert and decided to bring it to Korea. It's a must-eat while in Hongdae. One of the biggest reasons why I went back to Seoul was to film a video with Lee Sang-jun. I was so excited and couldn't believe that he reached out to me and invited me to be on his show. Filming with him was such a cool experience. He's really down to earth and chill, so I felt very comfortable filming with him. I will say it was a bit challenging as well though, because everything was done on the spot. He asked a lot of questions, and I just hope that I answered them all well. He told me that he's learning English because his goal is to do stand-up comedy in the US one day, which I think is really cool, and I would love to see him at a show there. I got my hair and makeup professionally done, which was also a really great feeling because I rarely ever get glammed up like that. We went to a photo studio so that I could get some more profile photos. Finally, I had an orientation for both our new offline and online classes, as well as a farewell party for the first boot camp that just ended. I was really proud of everyone's hard work and can't wait to see what these new students can accomplish. Now I'm back in Busan and just kind of getting back into my daily life here, which I'm very excited about. I hope you're all doing well and are happy and healthy. Chuseok is right around the corner, so I hope whether you have plans or not, you enjoy yourselves and have a safe and very happy holiday. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I just got back from a solo trip to Jeju. I went to visit a family that I've gotten to know over the years and am very close with. I hadn't seen them for a really long time, so I wanted to spend some good quality time together. I packed a bag and hopped on a plane Friday afternoon. When I arrived, the mom picked me up at the airport and gave me a little tour around the island. When school got out, we picked up their 2 daughters and went to one of their favorite restaurants. It was an Italian restaurant, and oh my gosh, the food was so good. We caught up over a bottle of wine and lots of delicious food like pasta, steak, and salad. I can't even pick a favorite dish because everything was incredible. It's in Hyupje, so we also got a beautiful view of the beach, which was a nice treat. Afterwards, we headed home and the girls and I made a Halloween-themed gingerbread house. Making gingerbread houses together during the holidays is kind of our tradition now. We each made our own and had family and friends vote for the winner. The oldest daughter won, but they both did such a great job. Me, on the other hand, not so much. But we laughed a lot and had an amazing time, and that's what matters most. After all of the excitement, I slept like a baby. So I slept in on Saturday and had kind of a slow morning, which was really nice. They made a reservation for us to go on a yacht tour. So that was our first outing of the day. I love being on the water, so I was super excited for this part of the trip. The boat was huge, and they had all-you-can-drink wine and beer, plus some snacks. We did have 2 small cups of beer, but we didn't go too crazy. The weather was sunny and nice, but it was extremely windy. So there were huge waves and you had to be very careful walking on the boat. Also, my hair was blowing all over the place, so I looked a little bit crazy. We all cracked up at our photos because it looked like I had a mop on my head. My pants were blowing up like a parachute too. I was just a hot mess. We rode past a bunch of cliffs and caves, and I really felt the island vibe of Jeju there. We even got to go fishing at one point. Unfortunately, we didn't catch any fish, but some other people on the boat did. Honestly, this was probably my highlight of the whole trip because we took so many photos together and shared a lot of laughs. The younger sister is super into horses these days, so I promised her I'd go horseback riding with her. I am extremely inexperienced and I was a bit nervous, but it ended up being a really cool experience. The staff took great care of me and explained everything really well. It also helped that I rode a very old, slow, and calm horse. They even called him Grandpa Horse. I think he was the perfect fit for me. We spent most of the time doing laps inside, but at the very end, we got to go outside for a little trail walk together. It was really nice getting some fresh air and enjoying the scenery. They also had a really cute golden retriever there, so we played with him and fed him lots of treats. I really want a dog these days, so take notes. Cameraman, you can't leave Jeju without having some black pork barbecue. So that's what we had for our last dinner together. Fun fact, the first barbecue I ever had in Korea was black pork in Jeju. So it was really nice getting to enjoy that taste again. The restaurant was really fancy and looked like an art gallery. They did all of the grilling for us, and I ate so much moksal. It's my absolute favorite. It was the perfect way to end my trip in Jeju, and early Saturday morning, I took a flight back to Busan. Time really flew by, but this weekend was full of so many precious moments that I'll never forget. This week, I'm back to the grind with work and school, but I'm feeling refreshed and energized after a healing weekend in Jeju. So bring it on. I hope you have a great week ahead, and I will see you next time. Good night. Can you believe it's already almost 2026? This year flew by. Since it's almost New Year's, instead of reflecting on my week like I normally do, this time I'm going to reflect on my year. A lot happened this year. It was full of ups and downs, but I have so much to be grateful for. So I'm going to start by reflecting on the highlights or most memorable moments from my year. First of all, I became an aunt for the first time in February. My sister had an adorable baby boy named Wes. Since I live in Korea, I haven't gotten to meet him in person yet, but we video chat as much as possible, and I already love him so much. Another big life event this year was moving to Busan. I lived in Seoul for the past 10 years, so this was a big change for me, but it's been a really positive experience. Of course, I'll always love Seoul, but Busan is really starting to feel like home, and living by the beach has been amazing. Thanks to you, some of my biggest accomplishments this year came from my YouTube channel. Our community reached 350,000 people. I received a Best Creator Award.
말할 줄 몰랐는데 너무너무 감사합니다.
And I just published my first book, which honestly still feels like a dream. I never ever thought I'd have the opportunity to do that, so I'm extremely grateful to you for making it possible. It's also been a lot of fun getting to meet some of you in person at events or even when I'm out and about filming. I always get so excited when I meet you, so please, if you ever see me out and about, come say hi. Of course, this year wasn't perfect and I didn't meet many of the goals that I set for myself. First of all, I failed to reach my book goal again. Every year, I tell myself I'm going to read 50 books, and every year, I fail. I love reading and see it as a form of self-care, which is why I try to prioritize it. But next year, I need to be a little bit more realistic and set my goal at 30 or something like that. Another frustrating part of this year is that I didn't take care of my health as much as I wanted to. Health is really important to me, but my workouts this year were inconsistent and I ordered delivery food way more than I'd like to admit. Finally, at the beginning of the year, I told myself I wanted to become more financially responsible, setting a budget, paying off loans, and learning about investing. But honestly, it felt overwhelming. So instead of facing it, I kind of avoided thinking about it. That brings me to what this year has taught me. One big life lesson I learned this year was to do it scared. I struggle with self-doubt a lot. I had some really exciting opportunities this year, but sometimes I felt like I didn't deserve them or wondered if I was good enough. But I realized that so many people feel this way, so it's important to push through the fear and the negative self-talk. Do it scared. Another lesson I learned is that nothing is ever perfect, and waiting for perfect usually just means waiting forever. I'm a bit of a perfectionist and hold myself to a really high standard, so I often feel like whatever I do has to be flawless. But of course, that's impossible. So instead of telling myself that I need to be perfect, I'm trying to remind myself that I want to be human. Everyone makes mistakes. So it's important to be kind and patient with yourself and learn from those mistakes rather than stressing out or getting anxious trying to avoid them. So going into the new year, my resolutions are actually pretty simple. First of all, I really want to be able to do a pull-up, just one. I know it might sound silly, but I just want to be strong. And honestly, it just looks really cool. It's kind of a flex. My second resolution is to be more consistent with my Korean studies. I tend to do things in spurts. So I'll study extremely hard for a month or two straight, and then slowly I stop. It's very all or nothing. But I know that when it comes to learning a language, consistency is key. Studying even 5 or 10 minutes every day is better than nothing at all. So next year, I'm going to try really hard to make it a daily habit. Finally, I want to have more meetups with you guys. I'll probably be heading back to the US sometime next year, so before I go, I want to meet as many of you as possible and just spend some good quality time together. I think it would be a lot of fun. If I can make it happen, I'll keep you posted on the details. What are your New Year's resolutions? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you reach all of your goals and that 2026 is the best year yet for you. Happy New Year! Can you believe it's already March? That means the first quarter of 2026 is basically already done. Time is seriously flying by. So today, I thought it would be a good time to do a little life update and talk about how 2026 has been going so far. Lately, I've been really focused on my New Year's resolutions, especially when it comes to my health and fitness. Health is something that's very important to me, but last year I wasn't as consistent as I wanted to be. So this year, I decided to take it a little more seriously. Recently, I started counting calories and tracking my macros for the first time ever in my life. It's not to diet or restrict myself, but to make sure I'm eating balanced meals and getting enough protein. It's actually been really interesting because it makes me more aware of what I'm eating and how it affects my energy. I've also been going to the gym regularly and have become a bit of a gym rat. I want to build muscle, so I've been focusing more on strength training. One of my resolutions this year is to be able to do a pull-up. Just one. I'm definitely not there yet, but I'm working on it. One step I took to help me reach that goal was buying a pull-up bar for my house so that I can practice more regularly. I'm also taking yoga and Pilates classes, which I've been really enjoying. It just feels good to move my body more and prioritize my health. Another one of my resolutions this year was to do more meetups with you guys. I don't know if this technically counts, but I did a book talk at Gyobo, which was a really special experience. When I meet you guys in person and hear your stories, it really inspires me and motivates me to keep going and to always try my best. I also miss teaching offline sometimes, so getting to meet you face to face felt really meaningful. So a big thank you to everyone who came to the event. I really appreciate it and I hope to see you again soon. Another great memory so far this year was traveling to Vietnam. It was my first international trip of 2026 and it was a great one. First, I visited Hanoi to see an old friend, and then I spent time in Phu with my family. The two places had completely different vibes. Hanoi felt very fast-paced and energetic, while Phu felt slower and much more relaxing. It was so nice catching up with my friend in Hanoi, and I loved getting to spend some good quality time with my family in Phu. We made so many great memories together, and now we have a lot of inside jokes from the trip, so it was really great bonding time. I love Vietnamese coffee, and I tried so many different kinds when I was there. I tried egg coffee, coconut coffee, and even yogurt coffee. But my all-time favorite was salt coffee. I miss it so much. One random thing that I've become completely obsessed with lately is puzzles. I've been doing a lot of Sudoku, and I also recently bought a book called Myrtle, which is pretty popular in the US. It's basically a murder mystery puzzle where you have to figure out who committed the crime, where they did it, and what weapon they used. It actually reminds me a lot of the board game Clue. It's so much fun. By far, one of the worst parts of 2026 so far was getting food poisoning. I'm not exactly sure what caused it, but I think it might have been from salmon, which is a big bummer because I actually really like salmon, but now I feel very paranoid eating it. I threw up so much and felt so sick that I even had to get an IV at the hospital. On the bright side, while I was recovering from that, I watched a lot of great movies. One that I really want to recommend is called The People We Meet on Vacation. It's on Netflix. I'm not usually a huge rom-com person, and I feel like it's been years since a good one has come out, but this one nailed it. I will say the main character is a little bit of a pick-me sometimes, but the story was really sweet, wholesome, and fun to watch. I laughed, I cried, I applauded. Something I'm really looking forward to is going to Coachella soon. Coachella is a music festival in the desert in California, and it's one of the biggest and most popular music festivals in the US. I'll be a first timer, so I don't really know what to expect, but I feel like I have a lot of planning that I need to do. The festival is 3 days long, and a lot of people actually camp right on the festival grounds, but I'll be staying at a hotel nearby. Justin Bieber is one of the headliners, and I'm so excited to see him perform live. Tickets completely sold out this year, and a lot of people are saying it's the Bieber effect and calling it Bieberchella. There are also a lot of other incredible artists performing too. Actually, Big Bang will be there too, so I can't wait to see them as well. I know it's gonna be a blast, so I'll make sure to vlog while I'm there and make lots of videos so we can experience it together. I hope your 2026 has been amazing so far. The weather is finally starting to warm up a little bit, and it feels like a fresh start with the change of seasons. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye!